Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video, we will discuss about data artifact. So data artifact, under the data artifact, we have three components, business object, exposed process values, we call it as EPVs, and user attribute definitions. Okay. So first we will discuss about business object. So business object in IBM BPM is a container of a business data that models the business behavior. Okay, the business objects are used to exchange the data between the components. Okay, let's consider we have a process, end-to-end process. So in the end-to-end process, we will be using multiple components, right? So services will be using, UCS will be using. There are so many components we'll be using. So business object will be helpful for exchanging the data between the two components. Okay, and business object will helpful for modeling the business behavior and exchanging the data between the two components. Okay, so how we'll create a business object? So uh, we can click here plus button under the data. So just business object, and you have to specify your a business object name. I just mentioned like customer data as a business object. So this customer data I'll be using in the process. So once you create this business object, you need to here if you see the definition, it is a complex type. Then here you need to specify the variables name. Okay. So example, I will add a customer info under the customer info customer ID. So it I mentioned it as type of the data. It is I mention it as an integer. Okay. Similar way customer name I can add. So it's of type of integer. Okay. And account balance I can add. So it's a type of decimal. Okay. We can specify the type of that data. Okay, then this business object now now I have added these three variables, and the business object is the customer data. This customer business object I can use in the any of the components of a BAW, and as a input object or output object, or to pass the data between two components. I can use this customer data business object, and I can map the data. Okay. Similar way, we have a next component under the data is exposed process variable. So the exposed process variable is nothing but a business constant. So these values, whichever variables we define under the exposed process variable, can be changed in the process runtime environment without any deployment. Okay. So example, we have a interest rate or any of the business email addresses. So those details we can maintain in the expose process variable. Okay, those data it might change in the production. So without deploying any code, so we can change in the runtime environment by using a process submit console. Okay, and whenever we are changing these parameters, so post we change these parameters will be impacted to the task. Okay, so task or a process. How you'll create a EPV? So again, similar way, data under the data, just click on the add button, expose processes, and you need to name the process. I just mention it as a business constants, then finish. So you can add the variable data you need to maintain. So mention it as email address. This will be external name, and the same way you need to give a variable name, and then you need to mention the email address. Okay, the customer email address here. Okay, so I just mentioned abc@abc.com. This value we can change it directly in the production without any deployment by using a process admin console. Okay, and you have to use this option, use the new values. Okay, there is by default it's unchecked. So whenever it is unchecked mode, then always in the production it will use the value abc@abc.com. Okay, so if we check this one, right, uh, as a yes, in that case in the production example you updated with bcd@abc.com, then it ignores the old value and it will take the new value which you changed in the production whenever the process is running. Okay, and the next component, which is user attribute definition. Okay, so user attribute definitions is the attributes which are assigned to users to manage the process. Okay, so let's consider we have a scenario. There are a group of people work in Europe, and some of the people will work on Asia. Okay, in that case, region for Europe, it's a Europe region, and for Asia, so the region will be Asia. Okay, in that case, so we want to limit the data exists based upon the region. Okay, so Asian users only they want Asians data. Okay, and Europe region, so they need a only European user task. Okay, in that case, what we will do, so we will create attribute as a region. Okay, here I mention attribute. So dummy attribute I'll give attribute and click on finish. Um, so I'll be creating a user attribute as a region. Okay, so I just go back here and I'll create one of the attribute as region. Sorry, region is your attribute, and now this attribute we will be defining by using a process admin console, or you from the process portal also we can define the region. Okay, so whenever European region user will log in, then we set this region attribute as a Europe to them. Then in that case, they will be restricted to only Europe region. And example, if Asian user will log in, then the region attribute will be holding the data as Asia. Okay. In that case, they will be limited to only Asian data. So this is how we can manage the attribute, not only region. So any other example, based upon department, we can maintain the attributes so that setup users will get access to only a specific department. Okay, that is the purpose of attribute. It's mainly used for it's mainly a capability to limit the excesses, or also it will manage the user roles. Okay, that is the purpose of attributes. Thank you for watching this video. So see you on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.